In a budget that still focused on keeping the economy resilient and on a sustained growth path, Finance Minister kept focus on infrastructure development that saw increased allocation. To this end, the Minister has allocated 109 billion shillings to roads and 86.7 billion shillings to energy, 16.1 billion shillings which will go to enhancement of geothermal energy, and 5.6 billion to the rural electrification project. To bring back disposable income to Kenyans, which he attributed to the high cost of transport, Uhuru said commuter train expansion project in the city was allocated 2.9 billion shillings.
For instance, Mr. Speaker, it costs a passenger just 25 shillings to travel from Embakasi and Kenya shillings 35 shillings from Ruiru to the city center. A similar journey by Matatu, Mr. Speaker, now costs Kenya shillings 70 and 100 respectively, and indeed takes much longer.
Other sectors that have received huge allocations include free primary and secondary education, which got 26.7 billion shillings, with the school feeding program mostly in the Asal regions getting 1.6 billion, while tertiary education got 53.2 billion shillings.
Indeed, during these difficult economic times, we must also act swiftly to cushion poor households against further suffering. In this spirit, in addition to the Kenya shillings 500 million provided under the 2010-11 budget, we have allocated an additional 840 million under the Ministry of Education to scale up the bursary program.
The minister allocated 64 billion shillings to facilitate health delivery, with 6.6 billion shillings set aside for immunization activities and 903 million set aside for the purchase of ARVs. The Constituency Development Fund was expanded to 19 billion, with a further 3.7 billion shillings also set aside for the completion of CDF projects in readiness to hand over to county governments. The minister also allocated 20.8 billion shillings for the implementation of the Constitution, while the final phase of the resettlement of the IDPs and the Mau evictees got 4.2 billion shillings.
We have allocated 20.8 billion towards the implementation of the new Constitution, which include setting up constitutional offices, drafting new laws, judicial reform, expansion of parliament facilities, and the preparation of the next general election.
The finance minister said the government was still focused in keeping up with its commitments of the Maputo Declaration on Agriculture and Food Security in Africa of 2003, which requires the government to allocate at least 10% of the budget to agriculture.
Kama Umbote for the news at 9.